Hi, everyone. We would like to welcome you to our session. Thanks for joining. We're really excited that you're here, and we have some information we're excited to show you of the results of our scoping review. So my name is Janetta Boone, and Anila Das is the first author, and I'll turn the time over to her.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our session today. We are going to discuss the effects of VR on student learning. So my name is Anila Das. I'm a faculty in computer science. I'm currently pursuing a PhD in learning technologies at the University of North Texas. My research interests include virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, augmenting the learning experience for K-12 education through immersive learning, and my curriculum areas of focus are history and aerospace.
And I'm co-author with Anila. I'm glad to be here too. My name is Janetta Boone. I work at NASA Johnson Space Center here in Houston as an instructional technologist. I'm currently pursuing my PhD at University of North Texas as well in learning technologies. Some of my research interests are training methods that will be new and necessary and different strategies for near future deep space exploration. So that's anything beyond low Earth orbit. So example is Mars. I am also trying to niche an intersection at the corner of anticipatory training, so something that they would have in advance, and also immediate need or something similar to just-in-time training to accommodate the lag in ground to space communication time. So it's 44 minutes, 44 light minutes round trip. Related topics, everyone I work with is adult, so I'm interested in adult remote workplace learning, also user experience and learning experience design, any high stakes training where we could use AR situational awareness training, pre-simulation, and then also interactive training elements to promote self-pacing. So we would like to introduce you to our topic. We've been studying about VR, and it's a K-12 setting. So we're looking for integration, which allows for the following items. So enhanced visual learning, improved student retention, increased student involvement, interactive learning, greater comprehension, increased competency, constructing new learning and understanding, and making the connection from classroom to real world. So we feel like these are the high-level pointers that can really be beneficial through the use of the VR tool set. Some of the benefits for student learning in the VR landscape through the use of VR and these different tools that are out there is improved motivation, student retention of learning and absorption, high level of interactivity and collaboration that helps with interpersonal development. And we think that you'll probably agree that that is going to be a hot topic as we come back from COVID. Promotion of active and experiential learning, and then also leveraging exposure to practical skill sets that deal with real world situations. So after reviewing the literature, we came up with the purpose of this research, and we want to share that with you. It's correlated with VR's impact on student engagement and retention within the elementary classroom, and also results from previous studies that were gathered, and then synthesizing and identifying trends within the last decade. So we have a scope of the last 10 years. Next, we will discuss with you a little bit about the methods that we used in this scoping review. So we went ahead and used the AACE and O'Malley 5-stage framework, and they lay it out really well, and we wanted to follow that. It has 5 different stages, so it's identifying the research question and then subsequently relevant studies. Then we selected studies and charted the data, and then we went ahead and summarized and reported the results. So that's the framework that we selected. So we had the first stage there was identifying the initial questions, and this is always a fun part of research when you're trying to figure out what the scoping review is going to tell us at the end. So the impact of VR integration in the educational system in the classroom, and then what is the impact of student retention with the integration of VR? And our third question is, does the integration of VR improve student engagement? Next part of the framework is step 2, identifying the relevant studies subsequent to knowing the questions. Now we're going into the studies. Leading search concepts in our study was virtual reality, elementary education, and immersive technology. So looking at the methodology a little bit here, we went ahead with Boolean operators and used or and it allowed us as the authors to go through and search some terms and then brought in results. So within the database, we used Google Scholar, ERIC, and IEEE Explorer, which are the databases that we chose. And the search terms that we threw into those were virtual reality, elementary education, and immersive technology. We were able to use the, I can't remember the word that starts with a P. It will come to me in a moment. This is the chart, and we identified originally 86 records. After any duplicates were removed between the 3 databases that we just spoke about, we had 60, so there was some overlap between the databases. We moved down to the records that we actually screened, 60 of them, and excluded N of 48. So 48 were excluded. Full text articles that we assessed for eligibility were 12. So we got it down to N of 12. The full text articles excluded with reasons were 0. So it turned out that all 12 of those were pertinent and relevant to what we were researching here. And so the total studies included was N12.
Okay, next is going to be the results section. Our central focus for this study was to identify critical aspects of integrating virtual reality applications within the K through 12 classroom, influencing effectiveness of learning, brain stimulation, and retention. Discoveries. So we discovered that incorporating virtual environments allows for a more immersive experience for the student. It stimulates the brain to better absorb and retain information that is being learned. VR allows teachers a new modality to disseminate knowledge in ways never imagined before. The knowledge gap between learning and experiencing is decreased with the immersive virtual reality experience for students. We also incorporated a table with themes and some citations from our 12 relevant studies. Some of the themes that we came across are VR makes the impossible possible. An example of this would be how Mission ISS is incorporated into the science curriculum. Being able to see the International Space Station and experiencing it and being fully immersed within that environment. Another theme was deeper learning for students, positive student perspective, extended modality of teaching materials for teachers. It allows them to put VR into their toolbox of resources, and actively engaged. So students seem to be actively engaged with the VR experience. Virtual reality offers students the affordance of a real world experience, something that is otherwise not possible for the student to experience in that subject area. It allows various perspectives, allows students to think outside the box. It is wholly immersive experience, allowing the brain to make the connection between learning and the real world. Better preparing students for what is out in the real world and what they will actually be engaging with and interacting with beyond the classroom. Outdated learning. So traditional learning is becoming outdated. The new generation of learners have been identified as gamers. So traditional learning is a little bit more difficult for them. Learning for the new generation requires teaching to be immersive, hands-on, and appealing. Complex subjects. So there are various complex subjects that virtual reality can be incorporated into, and the student and learner would be able to benefit from. Some of those are physics, science, biology, math, chemistry. When you incorporate virtual reality into subjects such as these, the students seem to be more motivated, and it stimulates learners' understanding of the subject matter. Situated learning. So students immersed in specific environment situations. Learning happens as learners maneuver through the environment and the situation. This is not feasible for all learners. Conclusion. So VR impacts. So it enhances student learning, creates an environment to stimulate the mind for better retention. Students are given control of their learning environment. When they are in the VR environment, the virtual reality experience, they're able to explore different things within that environment. If we're talking about biology and they're looking at a heart, they're able to turn it, look at it from different angles. It gives them a whole nother experience on how to perceive something and study something. It implicitly places learning in the hands of the student, and it's fully immersive experience. VR effects, effusively engaged with little distractions. So when you're in the virtual reality environment, that's all that you are experiencing. There are no distractions. You are fully capable of doing whatever you need to within that environment. It envisions ideas more clearly, reflects on learning and experience, prompts knowledge acquisition, allows for exploration, takes learning from the classroom and bringing knowledge into the real world.
So some implications for practice and future research that we would like to share with you. We'll go ahead and show you that now. And quickly, I'd like to make a little side note. I was able to remember that the inspiration for our chart showing exclusions was Prisma. So that's the name that I couldn't recall at the time. So future research, there's a lot that still needs to be done and can be very expansive going forward. Some that we point out are learning how the integration of VR can enhance the student learning outcome, which also ties right into the results, demonstrate that VR is a technology that can positively influence students' learning. So we found some substantiation that it's actually 93% of students find more enjoyment using VR than traditional tools alone. So that is a great way to have them own their learning and be positive and have motivation to learn. So we have our bibliography at the end of our paper, but which you most likely have access to. And we also have an extended bibliography of all of the articles, not just the ones that were excluded. We'd love to share that with you if you'd like to reach out to us. Neela's information on the left and phone number, and then mine, Janetta Boone, right here with my phone number. We really appreciate your attention today, and we're glad to virtually meet you.
Thank you so much for joining.